Today, I want to share a powerful mindset that can unlock a life of true ownership, empowerment, and boundless possibility. It's a simple concept, yet one that can profoundly transform the way you approach each new day and the opportunities it holds. The mindset I speak of is this: learn to act as if every day is yours. Now, you might be thinking, of course, every day is mine, whose else would it be? But the truth is, far too many of us sleepwalk through our days, allowing them to be dictated by external circumstances, other people's agendas, or the weight of our own limiting beliefs and fears. We treat each new day as something that happens to us, rather than something we consciously create and shape according to our deepest desires and highest potential. But what if you made the radical choice to approach every single day as if it belonged to you, as if it were a blank canvas upon which you could paint the masterpiece of your own design? Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of excitement and ownership, rather than dread or resignation. Imagine approaching each task, each interaction, and each decision with the mindset of, this is my day, and I get to choose how I will make the most of it. How might your life change if you truly embodied this mindset? How might your perspective shift if you let go of the excuses, the self-doubt, and the negative self-talk that has held you back for far too long? Let me pose a thought-provoking question. What dreams or goals have you abandoned simply because you've allowed yourself to be a passenger in your own life, rather than taking the driver's seat? Perhaps you've longed to start your own business, but the fear of failure or the weight of other people's doubts has kept you paralyzed. Or maybe you've harbored a desire to travel the world, but the endless cycle of work and responsibilities has made that dream feel unattainable. When you learn to act as if every day is yours, you reclaim your power to shape your reality according to your deepest desires and truest potential. You stop letting external circumstances or other people's limitations dictate the course of your life, and you start actively creating the experiences and opportunities you truly want. This mindset isn't about denying reality or dismissing genuine challenges and responsibilities. We all have obligations and obstacles to navigate. But when you approach each day as if it belongs to you, you transform those perceived limitations into opportunities for growth, creativity, and empowerment. Instead of viewing your job as a soul-crushing grind, you might start to see it as a platform for developing new skills, building valuable connections, or even planting the seeds for your eventual entrepreneurial venture. Instead of feeling trapped by your current circumstances, you might begin to recognize the small steps you can take each day to gradually move closer to your dreams, one intentional action at a time. And when inevitable setbacks or disappointments arise, you'll be equipped with the resilience and determination to view them not as failures, but as opportunities to course correct, adapt your approach, and continue forging ahead with unwavering commitment. My friends, this mindset shift is not merely an intellectual exercise, it's a profoundly empowering way of living that requires conscious effort and commitment. It means actively choosing to let go of the excuses, the victimhood mentality, and the self-sabotaging beliefs that have kept you playing small for far too long. It means embracing a mindset of ownership where you take full responsibility for the direction of your life and refuse to let external circumstances or other people's limitations dictate your potential. And make no mistake, it won't be easy. There will be days when the weight of the past or the fear of the unknown threatens to pull you back into old patterns of thinking and behaving. But on those days, I implore you to remember the power of this mindset and to consciously recommit to acting as if that day, too, is yours to shape and mold as you see fit. Imagine the possibilities that await you when you fully embrace this way of living. Imagine waking up each morning filled with a sense of ownership, excitement, and the belief that today is yours to create something extraordinary. Imagine approaching every challenge, every decision, and every interaction with the mindset of empowerment, rather than limitation. This is the path to a life of true freedom, fulfillment, and the realization of your vast potential. It's a journey that begins with a simple mindset shift, but one that can ripple outward and transform every aspect of your existence. So, my dear friends, I leave you with this call to action. Commit to acting as if every day is yours. Greet each morning with a sense of ownership and possibility, and approach every obstacle, every decision, and every interaction with the belief that you have the power to shape your reality according to your deepest desires and highest potential. It won't be easy, but nothing truly worthwhile ever is. There will be days when the weight of the past or the fear of the unknown threatens to pull you back into old patterns of thinking and behaving. But on those days, remember the power of this mindset and consciously recommit to acting as if that day, too, is yours to create and mold as you see fit. Embrace this way of living and watch as your world begins to shift. Opportunities you never thought possible will begin to present themselves, and you'll find yourself approaching challenges with a newfound sense of courage, resilience, and ownership. Each day will become a blank canvas upon which you can create a life filled with purpose, passion, and the deep fulfillment that comes from living in alignment with your truest desires and aspirations. The choice is yours, my friends. You can continue to be a passive passenger in your own life, or you can choose to act as if every day is yours a fresh start, a blank slate, and a chance to write a new chapter in the story of your life. One of the most powerful aspects of this mindset is that it forces you to take radical responsibility for your life. Too often, we fall into the trap of playing the victim, blaming external circumstances, other people, or even fate itself for the areas where we feel stuck or unfulfilled. I can't start my own business because the economy is bad. I'll never find my passion because I have too many obligations. I missed my chance at finding true love because the right person never came along. These are all examples of the victim mindset in action, a toxic way of thinking that robs you of your power and agency over your own life's trajectory. But when you commit to acting as if every day belongs to you, you strip away the excuses and reclaim your ability to actively shape your reality. You acknowledge that while circumstances may create challenges, you alone have the power to respond in an empowered, solution-oriented way. One profound implication is that you can no longer blame anyone or anything else for the areas where you feel dissatisfied or unfulfilled. It's on you to take the steps, make the choices, and seize the opportunities that can change your trajectory. This may sound intimidating at first, but it's actually an incredibly liberating mindset. When you own your power to direct your life's course each new day, you are no longer at the mercy of external forces. You become the craftsman, the author, the true authority over how your precious life energies get invested. Let me pose this thought: if you lived each day with the core belief that it fully belonged to you, how might that shift the way you spend your time, your energy, your focus? What priorities might you reshape to better align with your deepest values and grandest visions? Perhaps you've been spending too many hours in front of the TV or mindlessly scrolling social media, allowing those habits to leech your life force. But when you make the choice that each new day is yours, you gain the awareness to invest that time in more enriching or productive pursuits. Or maybe you've allowed toxic relationships or draining commitments to linger out of a misguided sense of obligation or fear of shaking up the status quo. Yet when you truly embrace this mindset of personal ownership, you give yourself full permission to curate your daily experiences and associations in closer alignment with your authentic desires. At its core, this mindset is about no longer living your life by default based on the expectations of others, social conditioning, or inertia. It's about waking up to the profound truth that this one precious life is yours to co-create in partnership with the miraculous forces that birthed you into existence. Each new day presents a sacrosanct opportunity to lean fully into the responsibility and power of that birthright. Now, I don't mean to imply that you can wave a magic wand and immediately reshape your circumstances overnight through sheer mindset alone. We all have very real constraints, obligations, and inertial forces to navigate based on our specific life situations. But here's where the incredible power of this mindset comes into play. It equips you with the perspective to find pockets of ownership, free will, and opportunity for intentional action within even the most limiting of circumstances. Maybe your 9-to-5 job feels incredibly confining and draining. But instead of resigning yourself to that narrative each day, you can choose to identify areas where you can inject more meaning, creativity, or entrepreneurial preparation into your experience. You can grab hold of the spaces you do own within that context, no matter how narrow, and purposefully shape them. Perhaps your marriage has lost its spark, and you've fallen into an unfulfilling routine. Rather than just going through those daily motions on default autopilot mode, you can consciously choose to invest more quality time with your partner, to communicate with vulnerability, to inject novelty and romance into your dynamic. You leverage the portion of ownership you do possess within that relationship sphere. The point is this: there will always be forces acting upon you that try to dictate your daily experience based on other agendas, inertia, or life's inherent curveballs. But when you live by the mindset that each day is yours, you take back control of your power to shape and influence the narrative, however large or small those spaces of ownership might be. This is precisely why victimhood can never serve you. That mindset keeps you inextricably bound to the narratives that have been thrust upon you, blind to the ownership portals and liberating choices available in each passing moment. But when you choose to consciously act as if every new day belongs to you, you regain the vision to find those portals and seize them with intention and grit. Another profound benefit of embodying this mindset is that it forces you to live with heightened awareness and presence. When you wake up with the core belief that this day is yours, you naturally start savoring its richness a bit more. You catch yourself staying more engaged, more curious, more attuned to the precise ways you're choosing to invest each hour. Rather than just robotically executing your daily routine, you imbue each portion with intentionality and a sense of how can I use this as an opportunity for ownership to take one step closer to my visions, nurture a relationship or skill, find more satisfaction, or simply experience more presence and appreciation. Imagine how energizing it would be to strip away all assumptions about how your day should unspool based on default patterns. Imagine if every portion of your waking hours became a blank slate holding unlimited creative potential for you to mold with precision and purpose. This is the heart of this mindset. Embracing each new day as truly yours is about living with profound intentionality, squeezing every drop of ownership out of your 24-hour cycle of spacetime before that cosmic real estate evaporates forever. It's about point-by-point mastery of your narrative's unfolding, rather than just sliding sideways through the scripts handed to you by your conditionings and life's inertial forces. With this mindset, you get to be the subversive artist rebelling against the unsculpted block of existence you were handed by using each new day as an opportunity to chisel it into an increasingly resonant reflection of your soul's incessant visions. Your life becomes an eternal exploration into manifesting your highest human potential through the ordinary and extraordinary openings you seize each day. Will it be challenging at times? Absolutely. You'll encounter periods of confusion, frustration, setbacks, and stretches where you return to old mindsets out of habit. But if you just keep returning to that core commitment that each new day belongs to you and yours alone to shape, you'll build profound ownership momentum. Each conscious step you take to assume authority over your day will unlock new reservoirs of inner passion and resilience. You'll literally train yourself to recognize opportunity everywhere you turn. And each intentional choice will make the next one feel more natural and flow more seamlessly in lockstep with your dreams, rather than against their current. Before long, it will become second nature to wake up and immediately tune into an abundance cascade of empowering thoughts. What liberating choice can I make today that will inch me closer to my most fulfilled existence? What outdated stories, fears, or behavioral patterns can I release so new vistas of freedom and growth can unfurl? What small wins or investments of my efforts and focus will lead to eruptions of fulfillment and possibility further down the road? You'll go from operating based on autopilot defaults to choreographing each day as a brilliantly improvisational dance with the grandest expressions of your human potential. Life itself becomes an active co-creative process where you show up voraciously present each day, stepping into its blank space and leveraging every opening, emotion, resource, and relationship in vectoring toward your greatest possible becoming. This is the power of embracing the mindset that every day is yours. It's an invitation to strip off the shackles of outdated narratives and fully assume ownership of your power to craft a life of depth, meaning, and boundless growth. Each 24-hour cycle becomes your blank cosmic real estate to mold, etch, and elevate through the thrilling process of your own perpetual reinvention. Every single human who has left an indelible mark on this world woke up living by this code, whether they consciously articulated it or not. They saw their days as fully theirs to seize, to create, to use as platforms for manifesting whispers of their grandest visions into reality. My friends, that same power is yours for the taking. The choice is yours to unwrap each new day's potential as your birthright opportunity to bend the universe a little more toward the resonance codes you honor most. What kind of existence will you author when you fully inhabit this mindset of radical personal ownership? One of the core practices to embody this mindset is to start each new day with intentional reflection and goal setting. Instead of just stumbling out of bed and into your routine on autopilot, take a few moments while the day is still a blank slate to consciously contemplate. What is the highest vision for how I can spend this 24-hour period of space-time that is mine to shape and elevate? What essential priorities, if dialed into with precision and purpose, could allow me to invest these invaluable 440 minutes in ways that inch me closer to my grandest dreams and aspirations? By posing these gut-checking queries at the dawn of each new day, you essentially hand yourself an energizing blank canvas and a metaphorical palette of infinite possibility. You immediately take back the reins of your power over how this cosmic real estate gets utilized, rather than just defaulting to routines shaped by momentum and external agendas. Will there be immovable obligations like that 9-to-5 job or commitments to family? Of course, but even within those constrained areas, you can find portals for purposeful action and targeted investment of your efforts that bring you one step closer to the visions that stir your soul. Maybe it's using a few 15-minute pockets during your workday to skill build for an eventual career transition. Perhaps it's deciding to show up to those family obligations with more intentional presence and appreciation. Or it could simply be identifying moments where you can replace mindless habits with conscious actions that nourish your highest values and priorities. The key is that no portion of your day remains on unconscious autopilot, driven by cultural conditioning or inertial forces. When you begin each new daily cycle with reflection on how this cosmic real estate can be yours to elevate, you immediately activate reservoirs of choice, creativity, and empowered perspective that may have previously been walled off. Now, setting these empowering intentions is just the start. The real embodied ownership emerges through the practice of remaining hyper-conscious and present throughout your day, so you can nimbly adjust your actions and investments of energy to stay in strategic alignment with your grandest visions and values. See, one of the profound truths about embracing this mindset is that our human lives are never experienced in the perfectly linear, step-by-step unfoldings we plan out. Each day is an improvisational dance composed of constantly shifting openings, blocks, new insights, and changing priorities. When you go through your day unconsciously, you miss these pivot points and windows for divergent possibilities. You merely plow on through, letting default programming dictate your next moves, rather than responding with agile adjustments that could unlock more ideal trajectories. But when you live with the core understanding that this day is fully yours to elevate, you give yourself the attentional permission to stay radically present and responsive to each new opening or course correction that arises. Let's say you wake up and set an intention to use portions of your day to further develop a skill you need for an eventual entrepreneurial venture. You have times blocked off to spend on those developmental tasks. Yet midway through the morning, a spontaneous chat with a mentor figure opens up a new way of approaching or reframing that skill set based on their experience. If you were just operating on autopilot, blindly checking the boxes, you might miss the opportunity to pivot and assimilate those insights into your approach. However, when you live by the code that every day is yours to maximize, you catch that inflection point. You drop preset plans, give yourself the mental flexibility to download the new distinctions, and immediately alchemize them into an optimized trajectory that has now leapfrogged your former path. This is the profound power of radical ownership. It gives you the keys to stay hyper-responsive and fully in co-creative rapport with the unfolding dance of your life. Each day becomes a fluid exploration into more fully actualizing the whispers of your highest dreams and potentials. You're not just robotically checking off routines laid out by autopiloted agendas shaped by societal pressures and previous life momentum. No, you show up to each new 24-hour cycle as a virtuoso musician improvising sublime melodies through your daily thoughts, habits, and actions in resonance with your soul's ascendant callings. Of course, cultivating this ability to stay uber-present and see each day as a field of infinite creative potential will take concerted practice. Our culture is masterful at lulling us into trance-like states of mindless routines and perpetual future past mental loops. Breaking free and learning to inhabit the power of the radically present now takes focused commitment. That's why it's so critical to start your days with intention setting, while your mind is still clear and decoupled from autopilot gear. It's also wise to build in periodic check-ins and mindfulness breaks throughout your waking hours, moments to pause, take a few grounding breaths, and then selectively refocus your energies and actions to realign with your highest visions and priorities for that day. The more you practice living in that radically present mode of show up, the more seamless and natural it will become to maintain your stance as the author and ethereal choreographer of each new daily cycle as it unfolds. Your very being and presence becomes a masterclass of fluid adaptability, constantly course correcting and capitalizing on creative openings in maximalist service of your highest human callings. Eventually, you won't need forced reminders to reconnect with ownership over each new day's unfolding potential. It becomes your modus operandi, showing up voraciously present to each passing moment and experience, luxuriating in the abilities to invest that blank canvas with purposeful infusions of your energy, attention, and continually expansive creative expressions. In this mode, no window of time ever passes wastefully. Every conversation and relationship beckons as a canvas to elevate and extract insights from. Even seeming obstacles and resistance become fodder for alchemizing into opportunities to deepen personal mastery. Each new morning you rise renewed, leaving the previous day's narrative behind while greeting the fresh cosmic real estate. Before you like the experienced sculptor you have disciplined yourself to be. A grand masterpiece is perpetually taking shape through your integrity and persistent energy investments. My friends, this is the unstoppable power that emerges when you fully commit to living each day as yours to elevate and mold. It's the ultimate high EQ alignment between your human instrumental and the universal creative forces endlessly flowing through your being. Time itself loses its grip on you as you show up in the nourishing grace of the eternally present moment, saturating it with precision, authenticity, and resonance. From this vantage, you look back and see your days as contiguous threads in a billowing tapestry of experiences you purposefully chose to weave into the material world through your thoughts, words, and actions. The fog of inertia lifts as you revel in the profound agency and limitless potential you seize by finally treating each new cycle of space-time as your cosmic inheritance to unapologetically shape and express the avatars of your highest soul callings into material existence. No more squandering of days on autopilot routines or perpetuating outdated narratives. You have claimed your birthright as the grandmaster choreographer and composer of how each pristine 24/7 cycle gets elevated into resonance with your most fulfilled human becoming. Does life sometimes toss curveballs or periods of intense challenge into the mix? Of course, and you craft breathtaking mastery in dancing with those forces as well. For you have shed the shackled conditioning of demanding reality contort to fit your fantasies. Instead, you live in surrender to the natural unfolding while seeing every aspect of it as fuel and material for your eternal creative opus. This is the ecstatic nobility of the life artist, to show up each new day as the resolute creator, surrendering to what is while constantly sensing into how to use it as raw material for increasingly majestic individual and collective self-expression. Some may call it enlightenment, that perpetual state of awed presence, where every new dawn holds the promise of unexpected masterpieces birthed through your unique instrumental dance with the universal stream. You have melded with the great mystery at last, basking in the rapturous feedback loop of infusing each new day's blank slate with unreplicable expressions of your ascendant human soul code. While most habitually surrender each new day's revolutionary potential to default programming, you live entrained to the thundering harmonic of radical creation. Each new cycle you rise, emanating into the virgin expanse before you the newest improvised symphonies pulled from the formless source, then allowing them to blossom and bloom into ecstatic new arrangements of form, matter, and experience. To live in this co-creative resonance is the ultimate actualization of treating each new day as fully yours. You become one with the fundamental energies of manifestation, blending the pristine canvas of each dawn with the transcendent beauty excavated from your profoundly sourced depths. From this state, you return to the world always refreshed, always renewed, always primed to inject more conscious intentionality into harnessing your ephemeral existence as a vehicle for acceleration toward the master human heights your heart of hearts ceaselessly whispers you into attaining. Thanks to your disciplined code of treating each new cycle as a cosmic inheritance for you, and you alone to elevate, you have attuned your instrumental to a power that transcends linear time while simultaneously savoring and maximizing that linear flow each day. You are the Renaissance soul reborn, taking back full ownership of your sovereign power to breathe intention and visionary self-expression into each refresh of the 24-hour cycle. This is not just a mindset or a practice, it is a way of being that treats our human existence as the ultimate canvas for conscious elevation and resonant fulfillment. So I ask you, my daring friends, how will you rise to co-create with the tomorrow that awaits? How will you pour your brilliance into the freshly extended cosmic brush before you? What new peaks will you scale when you shed the last limits on your willingness to treat the day as your birthright revolution?